hello, hello. We're laughing and we're smiling today because before we started recording, we were having some, should I say, heavy-ish conversations. There's this song by, I believe it's Corey Asbury, called Reckless Love. And one of the lines is, there's no mountain he won't climb up, shadow he won't light up coming after me. As people of God, it behooves us to believe that, to believe it, and not just believe it, to live the belief that God is for you every minute of every second of every day. Listen, y'all. Evangelist Alisha here just gave me a revelation and a prophecy that came from somebody that just knows me, I would say a little bit peripherally. Obviously, I can't share all the details, but it's literally confirmation of something God has been dealing with me on for the last few months. I've never shared, right?
Nope, Alisha, she never shared it.
Never shared it.
Never shared it.
Like, you know, it's kind of like this personal dealing that's like of an instruction that I'm supposed to follow. And last week, God gave me, I would say, the final steps of that instruction. And only for somebody that I've not even seen in years and years and years, more than 5 years, to give Evangelist Alisha a message for me concerning that thing. And it was specific. Now, so this person does not know where I work, what I do, etc., etc. Not to talk about the point that she knew exactly what it was like. She met me at the point where God was talking to me. Now, here's the thing the point I want to bring out here in Open and Unashamed podcast is this. Look, I'm not special. I'm not some person who prays 24 hours a day and, you know, on the mountain all day. No. I'm not special. There's nothing special. Alisha, right? Sometimes you have to remind people that you're not special.
Yes.
We're all special to God individually, yes. It's not like I'm some great prayerist or a prophet or a pastor. I'm a regular person. I have a job and I have a family and I have a business and I live. But if you truly believe that there is nothing God will not do for you to take you to where you need to be, save you from what you need to be saved from, if you don't believe that yet, start to believe it. And how do we believe things? We start with the word, and we go in the word, and we dig, and we pray, and we listen to songs, and we hang around friends who believe those things. Hello, somebody.
You better come on with it. She done ticked it off, y'all. Talking about she's not a prophetess. No, okay.
You know what? Before I wander all down the rabbit hole, I'm gonna have Evangelist Alisha kind of pick this up. Open Unashamed podcast. You've probably seen a couple of episodes. But what do you think, though, from what I just said? Like, God is really in the business of not just restoring, but he's in the business of saving us wholly and completely. Alisha, right?
Wholly and completely. That's part of it. Reminded me of the wellness wheel that we actually teach from. I'm a mental health counselor as well. And I was thinking about that when you said holy and complete. One of the words called teleos means whole, to be complete. And this is what Christ came to do for us. Before our heart turned upside down, it was this way. It was healed. It was whole. It was restored. It was a part of God. Right? Let us make man in our image. And so when we get to that place to believe that we can't, or that we're marred. Last episode talked a little bit about marred, feeling like we either decayed or we've been dismantled or we're no good and we've been just thrown in and people have forgotten about us and we're an outcast. And God is saying, you're not an outcast. I desire that you live life and you live it more abundantly. I desire that you have peace. I desire that you have joy. So I'm listening to you. And yeah, we were laughing because we were having an amazing time about the revelation of God.
Yes.
You know, and we're like, look, we need people who's listening to this to know that you don't have to be ashamed. Like you were saying, hey, I'm not, and I understood what you were saying. I'm not all up here. I'm not all over here. Look, I'm a plain person that walks this earth.
Hey.
Right? That loves, that he chose from the foundation of the world, took you out of the darkness and put you in the marvelous light. And I said to you earlier, I said, we may be plain, but we're extraordinary.
Yes.
We're extraordinary. Yes. And we want people to know that they are extraordinary. There is still something special about you, even as you go through this process. Yes. And, like you said, hey, I'm not all of this. What I am saying, though, he is no respecter of a person.
Absolutely.
And so God sent a word to you through somebody. We're sending a word to somebody through this podcast.
Yes.
To be encouraged, right?
Yes.
To be encouraged. Bring this thing in. Be encouraged. Last time we talked about, you asked, what do they need to start off with? You said, look, we need to give them something. And we said, start praying.
Mm-hmm.
Small prayer. Do 15 minutes, kick it off. Being grateful for waking up in the morning. So that's the piece that, I just wanted to bring in and add on to what you shared, because being restored, this is, I'm getting excited about it. I'm literally taking this poem. Let's talk a little bit more about that, right? People don't know what we're talking about if they haven't been following. About this year's, one of these topics and things this year.
So we are Dr. Shola and Evangelist Alisha. We are the hosts of the Open and Unashamed podcast. And if you want to know more, we did an introductory episode. So you might want to go back and listen or watch that one. And today, before we kind of riffed and started talking about what we're talking about, which is okay, because there is, in God there is more spontaneity than rigidity.
Come on now.
That's what I've come to believe. Definitely. And we're gonna talk a little bit about kind of following on the theme of restoration, but I'm interested in talking about time, because sometimes people have this sense when we talk about restoring our relationship with God. People do what? They look back and they regret and they go, if only I'd done this then, if only I'd done it when, if only I'd done this before. And we're here talking about restoration. People will stumble upon this message or podcast and go, man, I wish I'd known this before. I wish I'd known this back in time, right? But that I want to say, there's a saying in Nigeria that goes, when you wake up is your morning. But Alisha has a very more nuanced and I would say interesting concept about time and the acronym. So I'd like to invite you to share with us, and then we're going to talk about time in terms of the year and your calendar, etc. So what is time? What's your acronym? What is time?
My acronym of time that the Lord gave me a few years ago, it stands for traveling in moments of experiences. Traveling in moments of experiences. And so the Lord shared with me that though we have this certain vision and we have this map and we have this plan for our own lives, he has already made that plan for us. And he said to me, all I want them to do is travel in these moments of experiences, because these experiences, it's what's going to restore them, what's going to make them better, what's going to help them to learn about life and how to live this abundant life, how to make connections. And so he kept going, sharing with me what we would actually experience. And he says, so therefore, when you're traveling in moments of experiences, he said, you get an opportunity to reach certain levels of your life that maybe places that you've never been before, go through doors, and you're picking up nuggets along the way, picking up nuggets. So it's always a growth experience. He said, if you look at it as an experience and not as failure, look at it that is not unto death, that when you have this maybe traumatic experience or you're in a certain environment, unhealthy environment, if I can really get, this is God saying, if I can really get you to know first, I am God. I am with you. So as you go through these experiences, I'm walking through them with you. And really, you're catching up to what I've said already, because my word has went out of my mouth. and it shall not return void. So we're really catching up with the promises of what God has said.
Yes.
So how it blessed me was it let me see things differently. That when something happened that maybe I didn't agree with, or someone said something, something like that, it could be traumatic or not, even the small things. I paused for a moment and I said, this is a moment of experiences. And people would be like, what is she talking about? And I would say it, in the summary. I'm traveling in moments of experiences. That's already coined, you all. That's already copywritten. Traveling in moments of experiences. And I mean that. And so it's a part of my book as well, my new book that'll be out, that's called Awareness of God. And this is what he was sharing. I need you all to get this thing about time, because my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are my ways. And I've just given you time to help you get through this thing called life, because he's eternal. He has no time. He don't need time.
Yes.
And that's what he started sharing with me. And so I pulled up just a piece because it was just many things, but I'm just going to say these few words. He said, he made time for you and me.
Yes.
And then just start listing time. It's a place that you have graced us to find the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
It comes and goes, moving and opening doors. It has intellect. It tells you when to wake, move, get up, and do a thing. It reaches for you and tells you to come here and go there. Time waits for no one, is what they say. But my time, God's time, waits for me and gives me a chance to hear the next move from God. It reflects on the past and brings forth future so that we know where we've been and what God will do. And this is the last one I want to say. Well, two, time guides us in different directions to get us to one location to the next. It can be taunting and weary, not knowing the next second as a human, relinquishing trust and being submissive to the controller. That's what time does. We must trust. And what does trust mean? What does obedient mean? To be obedient is to relinquish your will to his. And time helps you do that. So I want to stop there because all of this is in my book as well. But I wanted to share that with you because honestly, I was sitting here like, God gave this to me somewhere else. But this is what time does. And if you can get it, you'll move with it instead of being stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And instead of having regrets, because regrets are points. Another thing we tend to do, right, is we look at other people's times. We look at someone who is the same age or same class, whatever class may mean to you. It could be high school class or university class or social class, and you look at them and you go, I should be there by now, right?
Yeah.
Right? When we have this skewed view of time, it opens us to comparison, right? Unnecessary, unhealthy comparison and competition. And it opens us up to regrets. So, speaking of time, what can you just say a little bit about how dangerous, I would say, for us as followers of Christ, how dangerous comparison is for us?
When you were sharing that, my mind went right to social media. Woo! And it did. And you said, with comparing. And so the Lord said immediately, they're comparing life experiences. Because on social media, you see someone traveling, you see what they bought, you see their businesses, you see what's happening in their family, right? These are life experiences. This is how it ties in. They're traveling in moments of experiences. My moment may be different from your moment.
Yes, of their own.
Right?
Yes.
In their own experience. They have their own experience, their own learning experience, okay? Their own healing experience, their own restoring experience. But once we can have it and understand that's what's going on and we receive the healing, now how do my experience become yours? Like this podcast. My experience can become yours in hopes that it's a positive experience. So that's why we're sharing our experiences in hope that it will help someone else. We're not stuck in our experiences.
No.
You know, I'm not. I've learned not to be stuck in them.
No. Because we're
anymore. I
traveling
used
through
to be.
them.
Right? I'm traveling through them. The scripture says it in Psalm 23, right? That the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me to lie down in green pastures, leading me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He's leading me. So even when I go through the path and I go down the path, right? I go through this path for his name's sake, the path of righteousness for his name's sake. But when it gets to the point and it says, yea, though I walk through the valley, I am having a valley experience and I'm still walking through continuously through the valley, right? Through the valley. So time is ticking while I'm walking through. Okay. I can have this moment of this experience or not. I can stay standing and sitting in the valley while time keeps going because it's still moving. I can stay there in that valley experience, or I can grab time. I can grab time by his T.I.M.E. and have a moment of experience and be healed, be restored, and deal with those situations. So we want to encourage. Come on,
and then
you got to keep traveling. ING, and I'll be honest with you. 2020, when God started talking to me about this, and I included it in my book, Awareness of God, that's the same year that I had this aha moment. And the Lord said, you're going to be able to travel. And I have literally been not just traveling in moments of experiences, but he's been giving me an opportunity to literally travel for real from state, countries, cities, staycations, vacations, at least 2 to 3, every month, every other month, or every 3 months. And I mean that. Here's why, because each time I go somewhere, every time I go somewhere, I have an experience. And that experience is what helps you to network, to connect with people, to be able to be restored. When people say, I don't have nothing to talk about, I tell people, because you don't have any experiences. Have you had any moments of experiences? If all you do is sit down, be on Facebook, worried about everybody else, stay in the house, allowing your emotions and feelings to get to you, and you want relationship, friendships, and things like that, and you say, I don't know what to talk about, because you haven't had moments of experiences. And they have to be created. And God will create them. He will open doors and he will restore. And that's what he wants to do for 2024. He wants to open these doors, restore, so that we can have life experiences and travel in moments of experiences. Okay. And I really think this is good. I really think this is a place that we can actually begin to just kind of close this session, because this is good. So, and I really want you to just add on to it. Yeah.
So we, speaking of moments of experiences and time and 2024, if you need to, so a lot of times people are like, where do I start? Maybe you've lost hope, maybe you feel discouraged. We have a calendar, a 2024 calendar that is called Restoration 2024.
Yes.
It starts from January 2024. So you want to go ahead and get it now. And goes, obviously, starts from January 2024, goes all the way to December. But it has a poem for every month. It starts with marred but not barred in January. Like, oh, okay, marred but not barred. Then February, we go to restore. Then March, chosen. And all the way to, let me go to my birth month. Sorry, I'm special. So
that's okay. What does your birth month say?
Ooh,
what does it say?
This. Gifted for this. Gifted for this. April. Okay, this is already my favorite poem of the year. I'm biased. You wrote it in my birth month. Gifted for this. And then all the way to December, though, reawakened. So I'm alive. It starts. So I want you to click the link in the show notes and get your calendar. Whenever you're listening to this, no matter what time of the year you're listening to this, the calendar will be available. You can get it, not even only because technically we all have dates on our watches, but this has so much more than just looking at the dates. Okay? You can put plans in there. You can read the poems every month. Read the poem, let it sink into you. and let those poems start to be to lead you to the word of God that changes your life, because these poems are inspired. They're inspired of God. I mean, I've read them all, okay? Because I was like, I couldn't wait. And I like
We're gonna get her. We're gonna get her.
I couldn't wait. I like to read, but I'm telling you, because it's hanging there in my office. So every time I sit here, I'm reading the poem over and over again, and it is ministering to me. So let's get those counts.
Yes, yes.
I got a few and give them out to people, and they're really enjoying them. So yes. So, just in conclusion, I'm gonna say this. Time, traveling in moments of experience, it's about having your own relationship with God and taking the experiences of your life as moments, traveling through them with God as he restores you to where he wants you to be in 2024. Let God guide your experience. Let God guide your experiences, and let God restore your experience of
life. Jesus. Look, I couldn't have said it any better. Let him restore our experiences of life. And don't be afraid to have experiences and experiments. That's what I tell people. You're going to do some experimenting and you're going to have some experiences. But don't be afraid, because God is with you. He is with you. So we thank you so much, and we look forward to the next session. We look forward to you all coming on. And again, we'll have that information for the calendars. God bless you. Have an amazing day.
Bye.